Ruth McCracken and Trisetta Washington, two top-notch career and business strategists, are here to help you defy standards and break boundaries. Join them as they share powerful insights that have already impacted thousands of people and will have a major impact on your career, life balance, and business.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Trisetta. How is it going? Great day.
Today is a beautiful day. I am super excited to be here with you as usual.
I am too.
Plus, you see, as you can see, I'm not in my home office, and that's because I'm preparing to travel out of the country, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity for a vacation.
Oh my gosh, yes, and that's going to be some of the things that we're going to kind of help some of our audience get into. I let you all come on in. Super elated. Breaking boundaries is definitely breaking some standards that people were accustomed to, that I was even accustomed to. And I want you to go ahead and click the link to go ahead and share this stream while we want to go ahead and embark on you on part 2. In case you all are coming in for the first time and wondering who are these amazing lights within your platform, wherever you may be watching or listening to, I am Ruth, and high performers come to us because here's the truth. They're just extremely frustrated. They're wanting to be able to dim the light on them so they can remove themselves from being unrecognized to standing out as superstars that they are, so that they can be able to attract those premium companies their way effortlessly. Not only that, but so that they can be able to attract the desires of their heart when it comes to their life, when it comes to their passion. And if that is you, I don't want you to hesitate. I want you to be able to reach out. You can message us directly or shoot me a DM in the comments below. And I will personally reach out to you to see if we can be a fit, because it's your time to promote yourself.
Awesome. And I am Coach Trisetta, CEO and founder of Profitable Productivity. What we do is partner with women executives and entrepreneurs to help them have it all without sacrificing the things that matter most. I really have kind of pulled together my over 25 years of experience in operations management and coupled that with life balance strategies to help people create what I call balanced ambition. And so if you are dealing with stress, overwhelm, and are on the verge of burnout, then we need to talk. We definitely need to talk. You can hop on my calendar at chatwithtrisetta.com and let's have a conversation on how we can move you from stressed and overwhelmed to balanced and ambitious. So, Ruth, today,
I love it.
what are we talking about today?
Yes and yes. So let's just jump around in. And it is exciting to me, and it's most importantly, it matters to myself and Trisetta on the part 2 of mastering money. And here's the truth.
Part 1.
Say it again.
This is part 1.
Oh, part 1. Thank you so much for sharing. You know how excited I get, and I'm already advancing, accelerating. Although the last time we were just sharing more so the introductory, because we got a lot on our plate. We're going to definitely unfold. I want you to get your appetites ready and grab your pen and paper, your favorite beverage. And I want you all to know that in this podcast, we want to help empower you to break free from limitations and achieve your goals around, confronting this money meltdown. Confronting your biggest financial challenges head on for a brighter future. We want to be able to allow you to know that you're not alone. And in our previous episodes, we've pretty much explored topics such as career advancement, life balance, and personal growth. And if you've been watching or following for a few long time here, I want you to definitely know today is the day that we're going to even dive in more deeper in a new area. Oh, I'm so excited about this area. I really am. I think we've been having it sitting there just baking and getting it nice and crispy for you all. Because in this, I'm telling you, it's going to be definitely tasteful. And not only that, it's going to go ahead and help transform you. This is the area that connects in a more deeper level with the themes that we're going to talk about around money matters. Yes. Yeah. Let's definitely dive in, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Money plays a crucial role in our lives, right? If we don't have it, you're in trouble. And so it affects not only our financial well-being, whether you have it or not, but it also can have a great impact on our career choices, our ability to pursue our passions,
Yes.
that overall sense of balance and fulfillment. And so it's really essential for us to recognize the correlation between what we typically talk about here on breaking boundaries as it relates to career and life balance. We need to make that recognize that there is a distinct correlation between those topics and our financial health, right? So it has a huge impact on our ability to create that well-being, right?
1,000%. Absolutely, Trisetta. Because understanding the managing part, and this is where, let me know in the comments if this is the part where you find to be true as well, where you want to be able to get a full understanding and managing our money challenges. You want to be able to create a solid foundation, not only for your career growth, but also personal happiness.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments that you want to extremely take that scale and see that the thermostat go even higher when it comes to your personal happiness and joy. It's about breaking those boundaries, those barriers, and breaking free from the limitations and financial stress. And it also can improve not only your life, but the ones around you as well, because it's going to be a domino effect. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And throughout our time together, because I think we're around episode 30 now. We've
31.
explored
31 now.
Oh,
Yeah.
31. Okay, yeah. So we've explored how to overcome different obstacles and tap into our true potential. But today we're expanding on that exploration to really include some money matters, right? And we're going to be providing you with tools and insights that are going to allow you to take the bull by the horns, right? And confront your financial challenges head on. No more hiding your head in the sand. We're going to talk about it from a very loving, right, and inclusive way. We're not talking about these things to kind of bash you over the head. This is so that we can shed light on them so that we can start to make some shifts to step into the full abundance, the full potential of our financial earning, right?
Absolutely. And I gotta bring in who I like to call God, because God is so
Yeah,
good. And it's your time. It's your time for
absolutely.
for whoever's watching and listening. It is your time, whether it's striving in your career advancement, whether it's maybe launching your new career, or maybe even building your business playbook that Trisetta does really well as well. If you're looking to tap into that, it's more so seeking work-life balance, and it's more so pursuing your dreams.
Right.
Who on here is saying, Ruth, I've been holding on to some witty ideas and I'm just done with that. How do I now explore and expand on that? We want to help you address that. Understanding and addressing your money matters will play a vital role on how to achieve those goals, how to create your dreams, not more so in your head, but now it becoming your reality.
Yeah. So we want to invite, how about that? We want to invite you to join us, right? We're not going to force you down this path, but we want to invite you to join us as we embark upon this journey, if you will, of uncovering the connection between career, life balance, and financial well-being. And so together, right? We're going to do this together. We're not going to leave you
Yes,
alone in it, right? We're going to break some boundaries and create a
absolutely.
life of abundance, because we were called to an abundant life. Ruth and I are believers. We follow God, and according to God's word, it says that He came that we might have life and have life more abundantly. And many of us are not walking in the abundance that we were created to have. So I don't know, Ruth, is there anything else that you want to say before we dive in?
I think let's go ahead and confront it. Let's confront these money challenges. Who's ready? Who's ready to unlock the new possibilities? I think it's time to do it. So now let's go ahead and dive into
Yeah,
our
drop it in the
episode.
chat. Some
Yes, let us
fire,
know.
drop some fire emojis in the chat.
Because we need to go ahead and disturb this money opportunities when it comes to feeling disgusted. You should feel disgusted. I'm feeling disgusted with you. First up, we want to talk about understanding your money mindset.
Yes.
I learned from a wise saying 5% is going to be targeting around when it comes to your business career or even your life. 5% is typically around tactics, your strategies. Guess what? The other 95% is more focused on your mindset. So it's so valuable that I'm glad that we're starting it off by talking about your money mindsets. We're bringing in a guest, a key guest, a phenomenal, wonderful being, which is going to go later on this month to go even more deeper on the subject around money mindset. And more specifically, my friends, your money mindset personality. Ooh, let us know if you like, wait a minute, there's a part where money mindset is part of a persona, a personality. Oh, I like to know more, Ruth and Tressetta. So we'll briefly touch on that to help influence how your mindset needs to be set up around your financial well-being. Most people basically carry limiting beliefs. And I believe to be true, many of us around money derive from maybe clients with who probably maybe all heard of this. I know some of my clients have. Money does. Let us know in the comments if you ever heard some of these, limiting beliefs and cliches where it pops in your head and you be like, oh my gosh, yes, Ruth, I can definitely relate. I'm going to name just a few, and I want you to be able to let me know in the comments as well. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's a heavy kicker. That's a major one.
I've
Yeah.
heard that growing up. Do you want to talk about the mindset behind them? Do you want to just list them first and then talk about the mindset behind them, or you want to go through?
We should. Yes, I'm going to run through them. Money is evil. Okay. Rich people are selfish. You got to work hard to make money. That's a big heavy kicker as well. Mm-hmm. You can't make money doing what you love. Yes. Let's talk about why. What's the main driver around this? Like I said before, in many things of a great ancient saying, whatsoever man thinketh, so is he. So is he in his heart. So it's time for us to transform who we are so we can then shift what's around us in our reality. Let's give them some examples. Let's see. Identifying some examples to kind of help break through some of this money mindset.
Well, before we go on, I kind of want to talk about how while these cliches are accurate statements, I think it's important to understand what you're actually saying, the mindset behind it, because you might say, well, Tressetta, Ruth, money doesn't grow on trees. Like there's no tree, there's no tree anywhere in the world where you can just go pluck a couple $100 bills off of, right? That is a factual statement. But what the mindset behind that is that there's a limited amount of money available in the world.
Yes.
Right. And if you think there's not enough, then you might be thinking that if I make more, I'm taking money away from other people.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah. As I talk to many people these days, it's just this big old brick wall. When it talks about money is evil, growing up, that was something that was very religiously spoken and talked about in our church houses, where you go in and you fall in love with this energy or this tool that we so necessarily need in our society. But what's bringing that philosophy in our mind? Being programmed, hearing it recorded every day, even growing up, it then became part of your genetics. It became part of who you are. But we want to disrupt that with you. You no longer have to think that low in the valley. You can be more creative and more imaginative. But the thing about it is we want to be able to say, am I being aware? Am I now becoming more aware? Let us know in the comments now. Oh my God, I am becoming more aware that money is part of who we need to see ourselves becoming when it comes to benefiting on removing some of those turmoils, removing some of those cliches, because money is your friend. Money wants to be there with you. Money wants to be in an abundance life with you, right?
Right. And a lot of people misrepresent that quote from the Bible. The scripture actually says the love of money is the root of all evil, not money is evil. Money is an inanimate object. It is neither good nor evil. What happens is it takes on the personality of the person who is using it. Yes. Right. So if you're using money for good, then good things are happening. If you're using it for evil, then evil things are happening. Right. So money in and of itself is not good or evil. Right.
Yeah. And then about the rich people are selfish. Why do people think that? Well, how were you taught growing up about money? Was money maybe something that maybe was probably stayed holding onto in a box or stayed captive in your bank accounts, or even never even being part of your bank account because it was always something that we thought it was always a basket that was hold off only for the richest? Who can relate that you're thinking, well, I think that money only attracts to those who are wealthy,
Yeah.
who are in those level and positions to create more of it. And then if it's time for them to give, why should they? They worked hard for it. Why should
Yeah.
they be able to submit to allowing themselves to be more giving? That's not so. Again, that's another mindset limitation. Am I
Yeah.
right or am I right?
No, absolutely. And actually, I don't remember the statistic offhand, but I wrote about this in my book, Positioning Yourself to Prosper. And there's a statistic, and don't quote me on it, but it's around 80 something percent of all monies given
Yeah.
are from the wealthy. Now, they may not necessarily be doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They may be doing it for the tax benefits. But the reason why this is significant is because if you think that rich people are selfish and you don't want to become a selfish person, then
Right.
you're going to subconsciously do things to keep you in a place of just enough, right?
That's powerful.
Maybe or you're okay, or even below, even below what you really desire to have, because you don't want to be perceived by other people as selfish.
I couldn't agree with you more. And another one that, everyone maybe speak that you got to work hard to make money. I have clients who work very over the limitations when it comes to their 8-hour days. And
Mhm.
that's not necessarily true. You don't have to produce a lot more effort. Yes, you got to put in the work. Don't get that part compared to working so much hard in order for you to make that money. And then also, why is it that you have to feel like you have to fill up your calendar in order to be able to produce that? No, not necessarily true. You can have a very manageable calendar, a very manageable schedule to still be able to have that work-life balance, to be able to involve your family, your loved ones, even yourself, even involving yourself around it, so where you can have peace of mind. You can't make money doing what you love. Who know this to be a resonating to where it's maybe that's how I've been thinking, and now you're saying, well, how do I shift that? I don't want to be thinking that money, I can't make money perhaps being an artist, or I can't make enough money
Mhm.
perhaps being a mentor or teaching others certain things that I know to be true when it comes to cybersecurity, when it comes around parenting. I have a client who she wants to partner with the education when it comes to the sector of parents. Are you fully knowing what ways to fully be educated in those areas? And this is something that she passed, perhaps truly love, but maybe in
Yeah.
the back of her head thinking she can't make money doing that. That's something that we want to help you unleash and remove ASAP. Yes?
Yeah. And I mean, and look at you and I,
Yeah,
right? I
absolutely.
I left, my traditional career to pursue entrepreneurship because this is what I do now is what I love to do.
Yes.
And I make money
Yeah,
doing it. Right. I think that you too, Ruth, enjoy what you do and
1,000%.
get paid well to do it. Am I making that up?
No, that listen, I'm gonna share with you all that you're not alone on this. It's
Right.
me getting here had to do with r- getting to know self, really sitting with self, really understanding what's truly in the way, Ruth, if we're being honest. What is it that I need to do? Who do I need to become in order for me to elevate, in order for me to become a magnet to others who see me and say, if Ruth can do it, I can do it. If Trisetta can do it, I can do it. But we want to be able to let you know you can do it with strategies. You can do it with support. You don't have to be doing it alone. If you're
Right.
looking for ways to do so, I highly, highly recommend that you tap in to the areas that you know you need opportunity. If it's productivity, if it's balancing your ambitions as well as your career and your life and your business specifically, hit up Trisetta. That is her pride and joy. She's helped an exceptionally amount of people throughout her journey. And if you're the type of person you're maybe saying, well, Ruth, I want to move from being in a mid-level professional role to now sitting in the same boardroom with the C-suites, or perhaps in senior management. If that is you, then get with me. It is your time and your decision to say, when are you going to remove the veil around money and limitations around money when it comes to your mindset, that you don't have to have all these accolades in order for you to move the decimal further inside of your bank accounts. Who's with me? Now let's go ahead and jump in. We want you all to know that it matters to us that you're now identifying your financial roadblocks. Is this helpful? Let us know. If this is what you're looking to do, you wanted to be able to see, what ways can I channel in and identify limiting beliefs? And what ways can I now be able to impact my mindset towards money, which can help, we will help you address any financial challenges that you may be facing. Let's go ahead and jump right on into that. So let's say this. I want you to be able to know, first off, we want to help you to recognize the root cause when it comes to your financial challenges. Are you perhaps examining around the areas of what ways can you manage your debt? What ways are you spending? Like I was, my son, we went out the other day and as a family, and you know how you get in the car and you had no intentions on maybe stopping by to getting any additional food. Since I'm a foodie, I'm gonna be the first to admit, I love me some Cuban dishes. And did I necessarily felt the need to do it then and there? If I'm in a journey of wanting to maintain and be mindful, to know there's a time and a place for everything. And if you're wanting to really structure and hone in on this, then if you're overspending, my son told me, Mom, we don't need that right now. We have a whole um my mother-in-law was here. I said, we had an African dish already made. She's not African, but she came with the agreements because of her daughter in spirit was able to share the recipe. I said, you're right. I don't need to add something that's not necessarily, it's more so a want than it was a need. And where I'm getting at is, you want to be able to frame what exactly is impacting your debt. What ways can you peel off your plate that's not necessarily important right now? It may be something later on that you can go ahead and use as a luxury or perhaps as a flexibility. But right now, you want to be able to identify what's lacking around the financial world. And what else can we share with them on that part before we wrap it up?
Well, we'll dive into some strategies in just a little bit on, how to address that. But the key here is the identification, right? So if you're not aware that the underlying problem is like a mindset or a limiting belief, you're not going to be able to move beyond it, right? You're going to treat the symptom. You're going to be focused on the symptom, and it's going to keep popping back up. You ever just kind of cut a weed at the top, and in your yard, for those of you, for the gentlemen or ladies who do yard work, right? Or maybe you have a flower bed and you just cut the weed. Well, the root is still there, so it's just going to keep coming back. You have to pull it up from the root in order for it to be completely eradicated, right? And so that's why we spent so much time talking about these limiting beliefs, so that you can address those and start to, when you implement the strategies that we're going to share with you, then you're going to have it's going to have a lasting impact, a lasting effect on your financial health.
I love it. So I think we're going to go ahead and let you all know what exactly that's going to be tackling. And then that's something I also learned too, where I didn't know. And let me know in the comments that you made yourself now more aware that money is actually is debt. Money is tied to debt. So we don't want you all to look at debt as being something negative. It's how you manage it that makes it dim the light on it to be something negative. So we want to help you. And also for those who you may know that is viable to seeing this as well, you want to go ahead and click like and share. It just doesn't make sense for you to be falling in love with what we're sharing, and then you're just the only one solo and olo in the midst of it. Go ahead and like and share. Go ahead and allow 2 or 3 of your peers to hop on in and say, what we listening about? Tackling debt based on, number 1, debt statistics. Let's talk about that. Household debt. Who's ready to talk about that? According to Federal Reserve, Total household debt. Oh my goodness. In the US alone, I can't speak on, it's not pulling data. We didn't pull data from other parts of the continent, but specifically in the Western Hemisphere. Did you know that we've reached a record high of 14.96 trillion in the first quarter of 2021? This includes not this. This is not just limiting on just mortgages. I know you probably think it's probably the mortgage market or the real estate market. No, student loans, credit, card debt. Who can relate? And other forms of borrowing from your future cash flow. Another one is credit card debt. Now, the average credit card debt per household with revolving credit card, line of credit, whatever you want to call it, is approximately $7,849 as reported by the NerdWallet in 2021. I gotta tell you, that to me, it should be a rude awakening for many people that's in our audience right now who's paying close attention, taking notes, just giving themselves permission to get their conscious to be super clear and aware of what's really impacting. High interest rates, that's another thing. These businesses, I don't need to name them. You all are very well aware who those businesses are. I'm not kicking them underneath the bus. I have credit cards. They are valuable. They're valid. They're necessary. I kid you not. It's how are you managing it? This is a whole mindset around that. The interest rates are skyrocketing in many of them, and many of you all. And let me know if you can relate that you're just doing the minimum payments, and it can be difficult for individuals to break free for maybe wanting to do double or triple. But the cycle of this credit card debt arena, a lot of people just use it and then just take the minimum. What else? What other ways can we enhance the strategies for managing and reducing the debt, the focus around debt here?
Yeah. Well, there's three main strategies that that I'd like us to kind of talk about today. The first one is you got to know what you owe, right? Many people continue to grow their debt simply because they kind of have their head in the sand about how much they actually owe. They know like, oh, I just have to, I owe a little bit here, a little bit there. And they don't realize the full total amount of their debt. So take some time, set a date with yourself to sit down, and you might need a glass of wine or a strong drink, depending upon what those figures are. But sit down.
Yeah, you said, man, it's going to be sensitive. This is not an area that we want to give you some. We want to give you some pom-poms to talk about. It's going to take focus. It's going to take discipline. Yeah.
Right. So sit down and write out, get a piece of paper and write out all of your creditors and how, all of your debt and how much, not your minimum payments or your monthly payments, but the total debt you owe to each one of those companies, and add it all up to see how much do you actually owe. For some of you, it may be a small amount and you're okay with that. For some of you, it may be way more than you think that you owe, and it might be a little bit overwhelming, but that's okay. You can't fix what you don't know about, right? So it's all about that awareness, right? Once you are aware, then you can make decisions that can help you to address whatever situation or circumstance you find yourself in. Absolutely. One of the ways that you can reduce debt is a lot of people think, oh, I just have to, pay. I just have to, buckle down and make sure that I'm paying them. Yeah. Did you know that you can reach out to your creditors and negotiate with them?
Ooh, yes.
If it's credit card debt, you can reach out and negotiate with your credit card companies a lower interest rate.
There's programs out there. In case you want to know, you can do it on your own, but these heavy hitter credit card companies are partnered with money management associations or companies that are out there. I don't know right off the head. I think there's one that's called money management counseling that you can tap into. And you said something really powerful, negotiating with your creditors. Negotiating is not something that you just do with career or with your clients when you're doing your business RFPs. this is something you can do individually as well. Who's
Yeah.
challenged to do that? Yeah.
Yeah. And just a caveat here, because you brought up the companies that assist with negotiating with your creditors and whatnot. Make sure that if you do want to employ the services of a credit reduction company or a credit services company, that you do your due diligence, because
Yes.
some of these some of these companies are not necessarily above board, and they make all these promises, and you pay all this money to them, and it doesn't really they don't give the results that you think that you're going to get. So make sure you do your due diligence if you decide to go that route.
Great,
Another
great call
thing
out.
that you can do is to use the snowball method. I believe that Dave Ramsey kind of coined
Yes.
that term, but use the snowball method of debt repayment, where you focus on, let's say, maybe it's your lowest balance or your lowest interest rate card or debt, and focus on saying, like, what, how much money do I have available, what extra, what additional can I put towards this each month,
Yes.
to go, and just pay the minimum on everything else, and focus the rest on that smallest debt. And
Yes.
once you pay that off, roll over, right, snowball
I like
into
that.
the next lowest debt,
Yes.
um, that payment. And as you begin to pay off your debts, it'll snowball, and you'll have more and more money, and you'll be able to kind of pay things off
Mm.
more
It's gonna
swiftly.
start that rhythm. Who's ready to start that money
Right.
rhythm of reducing some of this debt, that strategy that we're sharing with you? Some of you all may be fully aware of it, but who's ready now? Who's ready to do some shifting and break some of these boundaries?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go ahead and stem right through, because this is the part that I want you all to definitely put on some different lenses and saying, let's go ahead and go into the surgery room. Let's operate on some of the ways to building a solid financial foundation. Let me know in the comments, throw some fires that you're ready to now make this more practical. Let's put this into work. We're going to share with you some practical tips on taking control of your finances, because it's time for you to go ahead and get what's owed to you. It's time to set achievable goals, realistic ones. Listen, I'm speaking to myself as though you are here with me getting consultative engagement as your financial advisor. Although I'm not licensed to do so, but I want you to be able to know these are just basic foundations that we want to help co-create with you. And number one is creating a budget. Simple as that. But let's talk about even what ways you can do that. This is going to help serve you to create a framework that's now going to allow you, like Trisetta said, go ahead and write down all of your expenses, all of your debt. What is it that your credit card that you owe? Because it matters to me and Trisetta that you are where you want your money to go. Where do you see yourself strategizing? What buckets that you want, where you want to
Mhm.
prioritize going from low to high? Building up emergency savings. I was sharing with Trisetta earlier that I was not aware that I have an Audi Q3, and I was not aware that you don't get alerted. And let me know in the comments if this is something that you may have experienced as well, that your battery just went into it, just stopped working. It didn't tell me the battery was low. Like some of the lights and indicators would tell me that, oh, you may need to go ahead and have an oil change or get a tune up. It simply just stopped running. When it came to turning on the car keys, it did not stop. It did not want to start. Imagine if I didn't have emergency savings where I can call, pick up the phone, have the service people come, get my car to where it's now more cooperative with me, and now be able to get going again. It's so viable. Let's put this more in more content. Let us know in the comments that it is so important to you and you're ready to go ahead and build up. If you have an emergency savings, that's great. But let's talk about if you didn't. According to a survey, according to Bankrate, back in 2020, right before or during COVID, approximately 34% of American adults, by the way, reported no emergency savings at all. That's huge.
Mhm.
Let me know. This is maybe something you may not want to be sharing with us, but I want you to share and ask yourself, do I have an emergency savings account? Do I have a safety net where if something life event happens, I can not go into survival mode, but know that I have peace of mind because I have a egg nest waited for me in case of unexpected issues that I just shared with you as far as the battery going out on the vehicle.
Or something like COVID, right? Because, this survey was published right in the middle of COVID. And, for many people, it was financially devastating to them because they did not have emergency savings, or they did not have sufficient emergency savings to bring them through an extended period of unemployment, right?
Yes.
Or reduced wages.
Absolutely.
And that survey also shared, not only were 34% of Americans with no savings, 23% had less than $500 saved for emergency. So you're talking about 57% of the population.
I want you all to see this to be true as we're wrapping this up. It's important for you all to find ways to increase your income. I talk about it all the time to high performers on a day-to-day basis, and even recent grads. You got to find ways to increase your income, especially passively, because here's the truth. You don't know what tomorrow is not promised to not anyone, but you don't know what life events, what storms is going to be stack up against you. And you want to be able to confront adversity in a way that you don't get to lose your sanity in the process. You don't get to lose who you are in the process. So as we wrap up part 1 on how we just explained to you all, let us know in the comments, has this been helpful? Are you still with us? Let us know that. I'm pretty sure our audience is saying, oh man, this is something that I've been wanting to confront when it comes to money challenges. And that it's definitely was something that I needed to help building a solid financial foundation and being able to tackle some of this debt head on. And we talked about it early on in this conversation that we want to be able to remove some of this money meltdown. And if that is you don't want to miss out then on the part 2 of what we just expand on today. We hope that you've actually gave yourself the grace and permission to really remove the veil and start seeing it in a different eyes of source. Look through it in a way that you're wanting to sustain a healthy way of living and removing some of this money roadblock that has been holding you captive. It's time to set free, my friend. It's time to set free. And it's been a joy. Yes. So go ahead and let us know that you're ready and you're excited. If this was solely definitely something that holds home to you, I want you to be able to know that we hope you've gained valuable insights and strategies to start taking control of your financial future, because it matters to us. Go ahead and join us again as we talk about part 2. Remember, together we can break boundaries and create life of financial balance. Yes, yes. Have an amazing day, everyone. It's a joy as always. See you next time.
Join and subscribe with career strategist Ruth McCracken and business strategist Trissetta Washington to the Breaking Boundaries podcast each week. You too can experience the limitless potential of rewriting rules and creating an extraordinary future for yourself.